Welcome in. Happy Monday. Parker, Steve, Sipple, Lincoln Journal Star, HuskerExtra.com. Just heard from Nebraska head coach Scott Frost. It's spring game week here. 2 practices left today and Wednesday, and then the spring game on Saturday. Sipple, this is 4 downs. 4 most interesting things we heard today. We'll start with Frost talking about the spring game format. He said he'd like to just be able to split up red and white and let them play sort of like an actual game against each other. Doesn't think that's necessarily going to be possible because of the number of players that are dealing with injuries, ranging from serious to veterans that are sort of on a pitch count to bumps and bruises and everything in between. So instead, it may just be a little bit of one offense and one defense and then sort of mixing and matching from there.
Yeah, and that's kind of in keeping with the way spring games are going in this world now.
Yeah.
There's sort of a de-emphasis, it seems like. And it also goes with something Mark Whipple said last week. Mark Whipple's the new offensive coordinator in Nebraska. He said the objective is to get through healthy.
Right.
I mean, come on. I mean,
And that's really
what
where
we're
they're
talking
at.
about.
Yeah. So as nice as it would be to put them out in a real, I mean, it's going to, you want it to be competitive no matter what, but it may not look like 4 quarters of football, and that's probably to be expected at this point.
Right.
Sticking on the injury front, number 2, Scott was asked again today about Thomas Fidone, who suffered a knee injury earlier in spring ball, if there was clarity on what the extent of the injury and what his return timetable looks like. Really the important thing at this point would be whether he's going to be back for the regular season or at some point in the regular season. Not clarity on that issue yet, said the head coach.
Yeah, for people that are just becoming initiated with Nebraska football, we're talking about the number 1 tight end recruit in the country for his class.
Yeah, and who missed most of last year with a different knee injury.
Right.
Number 3, Trey Palmer, Sipple. I haven't told you this yet, so you're going to get your reaction right on the camera here, right in front of us. Frost was asked what Trey Palmer, the transfer wide receiver from LSU, has brought to the program so far this spring. Frost talked about his energy, some leadership, confidence, and then he said, I'll give you an example. A couple of days ago in practice, we were in 2-minute, and we got in the huddle, and Trey said, just throw me a deep ball and this thing will be over. And he's like, 2 plays later, we threw him a deep ball, and that thing was over.
Wow.
And so that's sort of what they're hoping to get out of him, obviously, this fall.
Well, I have a reaction. I mean, players like that are very valuable. I mean, to even have that attitude.
Yeah.
Even if he didn't make the play, the fact that he wanted to be in that position, those guys are invaluable. Because I'm going to tell you something. There's some guys who don't want to be in that position.
Yeah.
There's some guys at the end of the game, they don't want to shoot the free throw. There's some guys that do, and those are the champion guys.
You also, number 4, last thing, you also had a positive first impression of Anthony Grant, the transfer running back, today. First time we've talked with him since he's been on campus.
Yeah, I had a real positive impression of him when I asked him if he'd ever thought about playing another position.
What led you to ask him that?
Well, he just looks like a running back.
Yeah.
He looks like he was put on earth to be a running back, and he said, I never have thought about it, playing another position. He said, when I'm at running back, I just feel in my element. And by the way, Tommy Hill said, if he gets a crease, he's gone. So he's fast, but I think he's a very tough runner too. So I think in number 23 is probably a guy to watch.
There you go. Takes a home run hitter to no one for Sipple and Parker. Thanks for watching.